Hello, hello, beloveds. Hello, and welcome to another day of delicious soul chat. And I'm so excited to bring this soul sister on, Brandy Knight. And I'm excited to see where this conversation will go. She is the type of person that is like soul deep. She has this deep wisdom. You can see it in her eyes, you can see it in her energy. It's like ancient wisdom. And yeah, I'm just excited to bring her on so that you get to experience her magic as well. So welcome, Brandy. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's an honor.
So let's start with this. Let's start with an introduction for people who are not familiar with you or don't know you. Who are you and what is your service to the world?
Amazing question. My name is Brandy Knight. You can also call me Shanti Tedkar, and I am the founder of Inner Calling LLC, where I hold space in a multitude of ways, including emotional alchemy, accountability coaching, numerology, and Kundalini Yogic Science. So that's what I do professionally, which, as you know, those of us that show up in this way, what we do professionally is also what we do personally. So, I'm a mommy and I walk the talk. So whatever I do for my clients, I do for myself and my family as well. And that's me. That's me.
I love it. It is you. It is, one of your title, is it the Exorcist?
The Esoteric Exorcist.
Yes. When I heard that, I was like, woo!
Yes, ma'am. I'm not fucking around here.
Let's dive into that. Because, oh man, it just is such a powerful soul gift to embody. I feel like, being the exorcist, like what does that even mean? And people who have this gift, it can be intense because it's not just I'm helping you. It's like I'm going through my own, shadows and demons, and I'm teaching you how you can also break through your own. So I wanted to hear more about that. How did that come into your world? How did that step forward for you? Yeah.
Well, I'm getting just goosebumps, even just beginning this conversation. So I'll start with some of the natural laws. When we are a vibrational match frequency, for better or for worse, we're going to attract things into our experience on a variety of different density levels, meaning physical experiences and non-physical experiences, physical beings and non-physical beings. So some people might take that, to the demonic realm and this, that, and the other thing. I don't really have a name. I'm just working with what I'm working with.
Yeah.
So I was in a space for a very long time where I was hoarding all of my emotions because everything was so intense. Those of us that are gifted, we come to the planet and we don't necessarily have a language. Like, how do I share what's going on? How do I process what's going on? Because it's like a beyond human experience. So what happened is I noticed, like, I really got to see how I was attracting certain things due to my low-lying subconscious landscape, Akashic records, vibrational frequency. So when I started to do heavy duty emotional release work, reframing to the point of like, I chose this life, I'm accountable for all of it, I create all of it, whether I'm conscious of it or not, it's all me. And then that was my work that I've done and I continue to do with myself. Then I started using my gifts and getting trained in different modalities, which is just a toolbox. That's just the toolbox that we use. So when I started showing up in different ways for others through this emotional release work, people were coming back to me and I was seeing it as well. That it was just like what you kind of see in like a movie depiction of an exorcism where people are screaming and crying and puking and sweating and whatever else, just a total purge. And then it's complete and total life transformation because their vibrational frequency, conscious, subconscious, all of it has shifted. So that's kind of a long-winded description of
No.
how I got into this work, but it really, the esoteric exorcism, I mean, we're, utilizing all the esotericism tools that we have available to us, going into the physics, the quantum realities, the multiple lifetime dimensionality, all of that. And being able to just attain as much self-mastery as we can, but it requires walking through that fucking shadow and purging.
Exactly. It's like we have to do the work in order for us to be clear channels, to be able to show up and help others do that. As you were talking, it was probably like two or 3 days ago. I was in the shower and I love to do this like in water, because I'm a water soul and it's just more potent anyways, I feel. And I just tuned into my body and I said, okay, wherever I have blocks against success, wherever I have like stopped myself from really being who I'm supposed to be, like just show me in my body. And so, I went to where it was, and it was like lower abdomen, and I began to pull it out of my body into this bubble of light. And I'm in the shower, like literally dry heaving, like just like I'm going to throw up. It was so intense. And I put it in this bubble and I sent it to the earth with love and, for it to be transmuted. And then I called in more of me. I called in the aspect of me who is successful, who is a badass, who is here, like truly in her power, doing what she knows she's here to be, creating the life that she desires. And the whole session was so powerful. And I'm sharing this story because this is a form of exorcism. Like this is, yes. We think of exorcism like what we watch on the movies. It can be that way, right. Which I hope you don't have to experience that.
Right.
But, we have the opportunity to do the little ones that allow us to shift our vibration, shift our minds, shift our lives. Clear the path for us so that we can truly bring through what was to come through. It was so powerful. Like I was just like gagging, and I was like, whoo, okay, just get out.
Yes. Good job. See, that's the thing. That's why people like you and me connect. Because you're doing the work. I was just watching a previous recording from one of my teachers, Guru Jagat, where she was talking about a lot of people in the spiritual scene are mimicking something that was mimicking something else, that was mimicking something else. And it's those of us that are coming to the table like you and like me and a lot of other women and men and whatever else in between, right? That are doing the damn thing. Because this is a process that cannot be faked. You can't just go and get a certification and show up for other people and expect it to go smoothly for a long period of time, because you don't have the nervous system bandwidth. You're not really walking the talk. It's not a judgment. It just means that, okay, there's more work to be done. Are you going to show up and do it? And what you're describing is so perfect. And the thing that also comes to mind is we hear a lot about false beliefs, limiting beliefs, this, that, and the other thing. Okay, what really is that? That's a form of possession. At some point in your life, in history, in a previous life, and whatever you want to call that, you experienced something, either by witnessing it or, direct participation, that you took on as a truth that wasn't organically yours. Yeah. And then the longer it sits, the longer it festers. Mm-hmm. And it actually penetrates every single cell, every fiber of your being, right? And so that is a form of possession. You can call it demonic, you can call it whatever you want, you know what I mean? But that right there is a form of possession. What you're saying is like, where am I blocking my success?
Yes.
And you don't have to go back in history and like rehash like all the fucking details and this, that, and the other thing. You're literally just in the shower. Yeah.
It's like, get out. I'm done. I think, especially when you've been doing the work for so long, it just gets to a point where I don't need to know the history. I don't need to go back and recount the past life where it happened. I've had thousands of past life.
Right.
I don't have time for that. All I care about is how can I show up the best I can be in this lifetime, and anything in the way of it, get the fuck out of my way. You know, it's like, yeah. So it's like, I don't have time for that. And this is the energy of the warrior, the spiritual exorcist, the what we call it, like in our in the mystery school that I was trained, was the ritual master, where this is where we learn to claim our light. And through that, it's like being the warriors of life. What does that mean? Like, I'm claiming all of me, and anything that is trying to stop me from do that, well, yeah, good luck on that. Like, I'm gonna fight, you know, like get out of my way with my sword. Like, let's do this, you know.
Yes, I love that. Bring the ferocity, right? There's this misconception that like all, you know, we might be showing up as like light workers, but it's not all love and light. Okay. Like, we walk with, not just through, we walk with the shadow, with courage, with precision, in order to navigate and actually get to the light. But it's not one or the other. We're living in a polarity frequency where we have got to dip the toe, or more than the toe, if you're holding space for other people and are a change maker on the planet. We have got to spend time in both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there was a question coming in, and then it just like fluttered on by.
I love it. Right? It's just like,
it's like, oh, I'll be back maybe. So, you know, like, I can see people on this planet at this time, perhaps maybe this is the time that they are beginning to embrace themselves as the warrior of light, right? Or the exorcist, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. It's all about, okay, let's go. We'll wait till then. You know, perhaps this is when they get into embrace it. This question is like shifting on me on so many ways. I think there's like so many levels in
totally.
Like,
I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can we, you know, like, we have to walk out, you know, walk out talk, or, you know, like, we don't have the luxury. I was telling my husband last night, I was like, we don't have the luxury of pretending that we can get away with something by using the mind to bypass our energies. Like, we'll be like, no, you know what you're doing. Stop that. You know, or you get that karmic backlash. We don't have the luxury of pretending. We don't have the luxury of, what word am I looking for? Of trying to close our eyes. Like, even when we close our eyes, we see the brightest, you know? So how can we truly support others to understand that they have the power to walk through any fires that come into their life? You know, when these fires come into your life, you're like, it can feel like you're powerless, but we know that is not true. It's only a test. It's like an opportunity for you to find your courage, to find your strength.
Yeah.
So how do we support people? Like, I wanted to hear it from you, who are standing at the edge of that transformative flames and trying to decide if they should walk through, or maybe they feel like they don't have the courage or the power to anymore. Yeah.
That's such a good question. You know, I'm a stickler, man. I'm super loving, but I'll be honest, I'm like a Baba Yaga a lot of times. Okay. And so I don't drag people to the water. They either do it or they don't. And if they do it, I'm there. If they don't, I'm there, but in a different way, right?
Yes.
Like, it's like, I don't support people complaining. I'm not going to be there if you want to complain. I'm not going to be there if you're addicted to suffering and you want to stay there, right?
Yes.
Right. I'm not going to pick up that crack pipe for you. Okay. However, what I go a lot into the evolution of souls and the reasons we incarnate into physical, beings. I'm going to say beings because we don't always incarnate into human. We don't always incarnate onto planet Earth, right? Yes. So let's say you have a client or you're a loved one, someone that you're witnessing, and you're like, oh my God, just, I need to just, okay, raise my, raise it, higher perspective. Okay. I need to remember that I don't really know what stage of soul evolution this being is in.
Yes.
And the more advanced souls are the ones that are going to be ready for this type of transformation. How do we know? Because they say yes, because they have the courage. They reach out to us for help. They do the thing with us. And for people that are even on the brink, we just witness. So I see you. I see you. If you get it this life, awesome. If you don't, well, that could be awesome too, because we've all incarnated into some real shit lives. But when you're actively ignoring, like, so someone who's like, okay, let's say someone like you or someone like me is just like, no, right? It's like, well, guess what? Your next life's going to be a bitch. So you better get it done now. Like, we know too much. We can't use that excuse. How's that land with you? Like, how do you show up like that?
I'm like you.
Yeah.
Most people, I feel like when they come into my energy field, it feels very nurturing and it holds you. But then they also feel, hi, baby. What do you need? What do you need?
Oh, that baby. Oh, the baby. Hi, baby.
Sometimes he'll make an appearance. Other times he's like hiding somewhere. And I guess
I love it.
One of them.
I love it.
So, and then they feel behind that nurturing, this activated energy, this fire of activation. And the deeper they work with me, what I call is like they get to experience the different faces of the goddess. So one time it can be Gaia, the other time can be Kali Ma, the other time can be Kuan Yin. So it just depends on what they need, and that frequency of that energy will come through to support them.
Yes.
But I can't. I always tell people, I'm like, I'm an old soul. I don't have time for petty shit. I don't have time for all this. Like, come on, show up with me deep. Like, be deep with me. If you can't, I can't meet you anywhere else like that. I can't even make myself to do that. Yeah. What are you doing, little one?
I love that. Little stinker. Hi, baby. Oh, and this is it. This is the life of the householder, right?
Yep.
We're working, we're raising babies, we're like literally washing clothes, folding, whatever.
All of it.
I say this sounds harsh for a lot of people, but I don't have time for your victim.
Yes.
I don't have time for that. And neither do you, quite honestly.
Exactly.
Right. But, again, then going back to remembering, okay, they might have chosen this life, right? They're either going to, so if it's not a match for me, I look somewhere else, right? I don't need to focus on that.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm a part of this trilogy book. Divinity Speaks is about to come out, and that writing this chapter, it was a full channeled chapter. So usually I'll pull nuggets, right? But I just let a full channel of higher perspective, my team come through. And so that is, I had moments of like facing my own like victim, a little bit of just like this is really wrong. Like, this is real. It's like, who cares? Who cares if people don't like it? Because if I can affect one person, that's all that matters. That's it. Here's my sound code. And one of my clients said to me, the seeds that we plant, we don't always see the flower. Yeah. In this life. Okay. So I'm not sure. Well, I wanted to give a shout out anyways, but it seemed like a organic segue because, people, we're still human. You're still human. I'm still human. I still have my own moments of like, fuck.
Oh, heck yeah. Right. Too many. And that's the thing. I think there's the misconception that if a lot of people see me as like, oh, you must have everything going right in your world because you're so close to the divine. You're amazing. You do channeling, like all of this stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, you don't understand. The more light you embody, that is like the more intense the journey for you. And again, it is an advanced soul thing because you've done it so many times, and you come to this lifetime. Many of us, this is probably our last lifetime on earth, unless we choose to come back. But I know for me, I'm done after this.
Yeah.
And it's like we come here, we're not playing. We have a purpose that we are here to see through, and there's nothing that will step in our way. But it doesn't mean that everything is given to us. It means that we have to find out, like we know how to, and we have to remember that, like everything, it just feels more intense in a way, But for me, one thing I always say is that I don't care what fires I have to walk through. I will walk through because I know what's on the other side. Nothing can step in my way. I don't care how hard it's going to be. I'm going to move through because I know, again, where I'm going. I know what's in front of me. And that's all that matters, So, it's very interesting. It's very interesting to sometimes watch humanity from just all the experiences that I've had. And it's like, okay, hey, I know you're going through suffering right now, but trust me, there's so much more. Like, don't get stuck in there. You can do it. I can see what is coming for you. You can do it. But it doesn't matter what I say unless they're ready to receive it, unless they're ready to see it, see their own magnificence, see their own bright future. Like, it doesn't matter what I say. They will move when they are ready to move.
Yeah.
Hey, sit down.
And that's the power of experience when there's somebody like you, someone like me, that's bringing tools to the table, not just shit that we talk about, not just conceptualization. Is that a word? I don't know. But actual, like we're gonna do and create through moving the physical form, moving the sound codes, all of it. Because I think most of us need to have the experience in order to trust the process, right? So I compare a lot of it to like, okay, I go to the gym, right? And I go, am I going to get max results going once a month, or am I going to get max results going daily, right? So, and when you go daily, as soon as you start to see some of those first results, you trust the process. And then you start to make a healthy commitment because you kind of have, the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. I think a lot of people need that. And it's, as far as like, what's happening on the planet, I definitely, I can say a lot. But what I will say is, when we take in these natural laws, right? If you're making choices to take action out of fear and lack, that will not ever get you to the opposite of fear and lack. It's literally just going to get you more fear and lack. So any actions you're taking, any decisions that you're making that you feel are not in your power, are not in your control, that someone's making you do something, number one, it's a lie. And number two, you're not going to get anywhere with it. And that's natural law. That has nothing to do with what's happening on the planet now. That's always been. It's just a natural law. It is just now it's highlighted, and there's a lot of hypnotic frequencies coursing through this, that, and the other thing. So people thinking that they're thinking their own thoughts, but really it's never their own thoughts. It's you got to choose what channel you're tuning into.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So I have a question for you. What is one what is one way that you are being challenged as a human in your work right now?
I would say that's a really good question. Let me let me let me roll up the sleeves.
Yes.
I am in a massive up-level expansion with being seen, being louder, all of that. So I'm going through my own growth period while getting a real deal education on what some people aren't ready to take a look at in regards to what is happening on the planet. So there's a lot of pressure there, right? When it comes with that expansion, right? Like, oh, when the blinders are off, okay. And then there is the potential fear that can creep up around, the shedding process. You're talking about walking through the fire, the shedding process, the natural shedding process of friends, family, clients, the structure of your business, So I would say that is the biggest challenge as I, walk through the fires of a rebirth, not only in my life, but in my business is like, oh, I know that there's a big shedding process happening, which I'm just making, we know we're making space for what's next. And there's also, that fire, just because we walk through the fire doesn't mean we don't get burned, right? Like,
Exactly.
right. We know what we're doing. We know we're going to get to the other side, but fuck, I'm still getting burned.
Totally. Oh man. What we choose to do as a soul, just so that we can advance our soul, so that we can expand who we are, so we can experience more, right? And it's so fascinating sometimes, especially sometimes I feel like I'm looking through two different lenses, the lens of being a human and the lens of being an eternal being, which we all are. Sometimes it feels like two different lenses, because one lens knows all of it and you're like, I get it. I know why I'm here. I know why I'm walking through this fire. I know why I got pimp slapped by, by the cosmic 4x4. But then the human is like, what in the heck just happened? Like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? So fascinating.
Yeah. Where my money at? Oh, you're cracking me up. Okay. So yes, exactly. I'm not even so sure that everybody is an eternal being anymore, if I'm honest. So these are the words that I'm starting to say now that need to be said now, because we need to up level our game in order to call in the golden age. So I'll say it. I'm not 100% sure that we're all eternal beings. I'm not 100% sure that all beings walking on the planet are human. I'm not 100% sure, there's a lot that we're working with here, especially right now. So the pressure of like being aware of this information and then trying to run a business and trying to raise a family and trying to walk on the planet as a light worker, it's just like, but connecting with people like you, we got to connect in order to support and to, skill share and to lean in and to say the words that we're afraid to say sometimes out loud to each other. As householders. That baby. Being a working mom is no joke.
Sometimes it goes smoothly, other times it's like,
I know it.
But everything that you're saying is so right on. Like, these are questions that I ask myself every day. I feel like it's part of the journey.
Yep.
Okay.
I have a funny story. When I first started doing sessions virtually, years ago, my daughter was potty training. And so I had it was a couple session, and I brought the Zoom with me to the bathroom, and I'm wiping my daughter's butt, and we're doing a couple session while I'm wiping a butt because that's householding.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Oh man. Yeah, this story. Woo. But my love, thank you so much for joining me today. How do people find you? And also, what do you have going in your work? How can they work with you?
Yes. Okay. So again, I'm in a rebirth right now. You can find, I'm most active, honestly, on Instagram at Inner Calling, INNERCAULLING. You can also find me on my website, which has all my contact information. It's innercalling.com, INNERCAULLING. I am currently hosting yogic intensives where we go into your numerology and create a whole plan for you. I do a lot of emotional alchemy one-on-one work. And I got a couple of new projects cooking I'll be announcing soon. But the big whammer jammer is I would love support for Divinity Speaks co-authored book that launches August 11th. All proceeds are going to LMU Girls. If you don't know LMU Girls, check them out. They're an amazing organization that are setting these beautiful women up in Kenya so they can have a life of their choosing instead of, child bride, stuff like that. So if that's the main thing I got cooking. That's the main thing I got cooking.
Beautiful, Mama. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for witnessing me mommying.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? More to come. I can feel, I'm going to say it right here live. There's more. There's more to come here.
Oh, totally. I mean, listen, even the questions, there was like layers upon layers that were coming through. So we're going to continue this conversation. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love you so much.
I love you
for
too.
joining me. Bye, everyone.